Hello everyone, this is Ian with Viridisk, and I have another tournament for you today. This will be my first tournament where I will be doing commentary. So the tournament is directed by Scott Pittner. He is the owner of paperorplastics.com. The final round consists of 20 holes. There are 2 temp holes at 6A and 9A. The round starts at hole number 3. Let's meet the players.
My name is Dana Vicich. I'm sponsored by Vibram Disc Golf. I wish I had a bug spray sponsor, but I don't. Paragon Disc Golf, Plastic Addicts, World Sports, Mike Fierke. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Fierke, and I have no sponsors.
Chris Brenholtz, Downers Grove, Illinois. That's about all.
Hi, Nicholas Rapp, Princeton, Illinois.
All right, into the final round. Nick and Dana are both tied at 55. Mike and Chris are both tied at 57. Hole number 3 is in the B position. We're looking at 300 feet, and all these holes are going to be par 3s, so just a heads up on that. And a lot of these holes are going to have trees, just like that, where Nick just hit there. This is from the drone view to show you kind of where the disc landed. And here's Dana's drive. Let's see, it's gonna hit another tree. So yeah, there's gonna be tree and elevation changes. We're in Illinois, so elevation changes aren't drastic, but it does come into play when you're not used to it. Or even if you are used to it, it still does come into play. Mike's drive looks a little low, but it's still skipped up there, so he should be able to have a putt. And Chris likes to do this one-step drive thing. He threw it a little low, but he should be able to get up and down from there. And oftentimes, I mean, a lot of times when Chris is up there, he likes to throw this turnover with the disc fading back shot. So it seems to work out well for him. Dana's approach here. So a little bit about this state park. This state park is Anna Page Park in Rockford, Illinois. There are 3 courses at this state park. It's a really big property. There's the east course, there's the west course, and that putt by Mike right there looks like it was pushed down by the tailwind. Dana is putting for par right here. And he just airballed it to the right. It is the first hole, so I think he's just the first hole of the second round, so he's probably getting his bearings down. So he's gonna tap in his bogey here. But like I was saying, this whole property, there are 3 courses. The first round, the pros played at the pro men played in the south course, which has a lot of pine trees, and it was unfortunate that we couldn't record that round. But the second round, they played in the west course, which is this course that we're watching right now. So hole 3, the only person that bogey was Dana. He's now 1 stroke behind Nick, and Mike and Chris are tied. Hole number 4 is in the B position. Like I said, it's going to be par 3, 348 feet. But like I said before, there's just trees everywhere all the time, just like that. But it looks like this disc is going to get through by Nick, and that looks parched. Pretty nice job, and he looks pretty happy about that. Here's Mike's drive. And as you can see right here, there's a dip in the ground from the tee box, and he just hit a tree. It's just frustrating when you're just trying to avoid these trees, and just like this shot right here, turnover, and it turned over too much to the right and hit another tree. But he did bounce back into the fairway, so that should be okay from there. So the way we're shooting this is, I like to get the player's reaction. So my camera angle is this one right here of the player ripping off, and that's a good drive right there by Dana. That looks like it just went through everything. That looks parked. So he seems pretty content with that. He's not saying much about it. Here's Mike. You can see more trees and more branches, low ceiling. And he's going to do his upshot right here. And yeah, so just a little note on the way we do our videos. There are 4 cameras total. There's one behind the shoulder. And I believe Mike is going for 3 here. Oh, he just missed it to the left. He's not too happy about that. And then Dana's going for 3 on this one. But yeah, so my camera angle is to try to get the player's reaction. And that looks like a par for Dana, so that's a great putt. And I believe Nick is going for... I'm sorry, that was not par for Dana, that was a 2. And Nick just put in his 2 as well. So 2 birdies on this hole, number 4. So great job there. And Mike is going to tap in his bogey here. And I believe Chris is going to tap in his par. So yeah, like I was saying, we're trying out some different camera angles. My other camera person is Corel. He actually has it over the shoulder. Number 5 is in the I believe is in the B position. But number 5 is interesting. You have to throw it kind of low, just like Nick did right there. But if you throw it too low, the grass kind of doesn't. You can't really skip the disc in. There is a slight elevation to the right of the basket, but if you throw it too high, like Dana's doing right here, this might hit. Oh, it actually did hit the tree. So yeah, and he's not too happy about that. So if you throw it too high, you're gonna hit that tree before you get to the basket. So you're looking at about 100 feet out here. And here is Chris. Turnover shot, and like I said, he likes to turn over and bring it back, and it's gonna come back. But it's going to come back past this tree. And Sarah, the other camera person, is going to kind of show you where kind of the basket is, which is by that little flag right there. And here's Mike, sidearm. And that's looking good as long as it's... Oh, no, it hits... There's just a lot of trees and leaves everywhere. So if you throw a little high, that's what could happen. Here's Mike's approach right here. And it should just hopefully just sit. So yeah, you can see kind of that downward slant of the green right there. And Dana looks like he's got a putt from there. And this is Chris's. I'm not sure. I think he's just laying up. But yeah, tell me what you think about the angle. And that's Nick's putt right there. It needs to stop rolling. Oh, that's good. All right. So yeah, he should be able to make. This is for 3. And he just bangs it for 3. What a great putt. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think about the camera angle for the player's reaction. This is for par. And he hits it right at the top of the basket. He was almost worried that it wouldn't drop. And I believe everyone else is tapping in their pars for number 5. So yeah, let me know if you like the over the shoulder and you also like the player's reaction. The drone shot is just in case, kind of showing you if all the obstacles that are in front of the players over over the top view, and let me know how you like that. And of course, we always try to have a camera angle by the basket. Hole number 6 is pretty open. You can see here Nick's drive, and the reason why we choose this drone shot is to show you that cluster of trees that you have to get through before you get to the basket. So here's Dana's drive, and like I said, it's pretty open. It's got a few trees in the way, but then you get through those trees, and you get through more trees, and then you have more trees to deal with. But once you get to the green, it's pretty open actually. And the elevation is there's really no elevation. The fairway is pretty flat. Here's Chris's drive, looking good, going past those trees, and that's actually really nice. It's gonna hit this mound of, I'm not sure what that is on the ground, but Sarah's gonna show you where the basket is here. So just a glimpse real quick, and he should have a putt from there. So here's Mike's drive. That looks like it's going too far to where the row of trees are, and it's going to hit, and you're going to see the little red disc rolling around right there. But he should be able to get up and down from there. So Dana's approach right here. So you can see the green is kind of open. It's really nothing around it, really. But it's just those trees that you have to get through before you get into the green itself. And Mike looks like he's parked his upshot there. And Chris looks like he's going to run for it. Oh, that's just to the right. Otherwise, that was looking good. Chris's drive, and this is his approach. Oh, actually, he was going for it, so that's pretty close. And I believe, Dana, that was for par. And I think everyone else is going to tap in their pars here. That should be no problems for these people, for these guys. I mean, these guys are on the lead card. That would make sense. So, yeah. We have a slew of different camera angles. It's just a matter of me getting it down and me getting down the commentary. So I don't have a guest speaker or anything. I mean, obviously, I have never done this. So this is the first time we're doing this. So hole number 6, after that, Dana is 1 stroke behind. Hole number 6A is a temporary hole. It's 312 feet. You can see that circle red right there in the middle of the screen. And this is a closer look at the tunnel that you have, and then this is a closer look once you're in the tunnel. So this tunnel is pretty narrow, low ceiling, narrow opening, and there is OB, the road on the right of all these tree lines, and then there's a creek on the left as well. So here's Nick's drive. He's cutting it close, but as long as it's open, there's an opening, and he just got out, so he looks like he's pretty safe. He's not in the water. The water was high that day, so if you get your disc in there, there's no luck of getting it out, so you'd have to take a stroke if you from where it went out. Here's Dana's drive. Oh no, I think it just flipped and it did not come back. So it's going to be at the end of that line of shrubs right there. Chris is opting for the sidearm. And as long as it comes back, we should be good. And it does, right in the middle of the fairway. That looks good. He should be able to get up and down from there. And Mike's drive. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, no, he went to the right. Yeah, so he might be OB. And he is OB. So this is for 3. This is Mike's upshot for 3. So yeah, this hole's a little tricky. And it looks like it faded out a little too far. But he should be able to have a putt from there. And Dana is in the trees, in the shrubs, throwing out his upshot. Looks like he's still got a little bit of work for this putt right here. And Chris is right in the middle of the fairway, so that's looking good for him. And he's got a sidearm upshot, and that looks parked. He's good to go there. And we're looking at Nick's now. I think he's pin high, so his drive looks pretty good, and he's going for it, and it's just a little short, about a couple feet short. So Dana's got this jump putt again. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, just in front of the basket. He usually hits those. It's pretty good at those little hop jump. And we're looking at Mike's, and that is for bogey. I believe it's a circle 4. Yes, so Mike's got his bogey, Dana's got his bogey, and I believe Nick and Chris are gonna tap out their pars here. So yeah, that hole 6A is really fun. I wish I had a chance to play it. So now Dana's 2 strokes behind and Mike is 2 strokes behind. So hole number 7 is 420 feet. It's kind of an S. Got to go around a bunch of trees and then you got to go back towards the right. So first you got to go around all these trees, a little hyzer shot, get into the fairway. But then if it hyzers too much, it'll go into this line of trees. So there's just shrubs and trees everywhere around this fairway before you get up to the basket. So there's a basket to the right there. So Nick is pretty happy because his disc went up on that little tiny hill. And here's Chris's drive. So it goes around these trees, but then there's also a tree to the right, and he hits the tree to the right. So yeah, but as long as he's in the fairway, he should be good to get up and down. So here's Dana's drive. And he threw it a little high. I'm not sure if he wanted to throw that high, but it's going to go... If it needs to come down, let's see where she shows us where the disc has landed. It actually landed in there, so it's going to be tricky getting out of there to get to the basket, but we'll see what Dana does. Alright, looking at Mike's drive here. And here we go. And it looks like he's going to go to the right, and it needs to come out, otherwise... Oh no, it actually went in those trees. That's going to be hard to get out. You can kind of see his reaction right there. Alright, this is where Chris has landed. You can see kind of in the distance where the basket is, and he throws a sidearm, but it faded out too early, and now it's in the trees. So here's Mike. He is actually just going to pitch out because it's just, that's a pretty smart play actually. Otherwise, we went in the trees again. And then this is for 3, so now his upshot. That was his upshot for 3. Here's Dana, kind of buried in there, but it looks like he's going to go for a roller. And the roller is coming out, and it looks like it's working. It's working. That looks like a good... He's got a putt. That's good. That's a really good out. And here's Nick, and he's going for it just a little low. And here's Chris's upshot where it landed. So he's gonna... He looks like he might be going for the basket here, actually. And oh, just off the top of the basket. So yeah. And here's Mike going for 4. Oh no, to the left, to the left. That's not good. And I believe Dana's going for 3 right here. Bang, 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 bang. That's great. Right in the middle of the back chains. Very nice putt by Dana. And I believe Mike just put in his double bogey for hole number 7. Yes, he did. And Chris, that is bogey for Chris. That's 4. And Nick's going to tap in his par. All right, so that is number 7. And I believe Dana is still 2 strokes behind, but now Mike is 3 strokes behind Chris. Excuse me. Number 8 is 327 feet, straight shot. But it doesn't look like it on the picture, but there's all these trees in the way, and there's a slight down decline in terrain here. So, yeah. And not only are these trees in the way, but their branches are also kind of sticking out as well. So here's Dana's drive, and the reason why we chose this this view is because to kind of show you what the disc has to go through to get down here. And it's kind of, and then this view is to show you kind of where the basket is. So here's Chris's drive from the tee box, and he throws it like that turnover shot, but it's fading out, and it hits the tree, and it's rolling. You can kind of see it there. So, I mean, these are all still within putting range, but some of them probably needs to be an approach. And here's Mike's drive. He kind of threw it to the ground. There's a little red arrow popping up here to show you where the disc is. Real quick. There you go. And here's Mike's approach, and I don't think he meant to release it that early. Yeah, so I don't think he's too happy about that. Yeah, he's not. That's unfortunate. And here's Chris's approach. Down the knee. He's got to get below the ceiling, but that looks good. He's parked. He's got to putt from there. And here's Dana's drive where it landed. This is his putt. This is for 2. Oh my gosh. What a great putt. And Nick's going for 2 as well. Oh, he's just missed. Just short. And this is the save par by Mike. He's got this lob kind of a putt, and that worked. That was a great putt. Awesome putt by Mike. So that was par for him. Dana's got 2. Nick is tapping in his par here, and I believe Chris is also tapping in his par. Yes, he sure is. So Dana got his stroke back. So Dana's now 1 stroke behind Nick. Mike is still 3 strokes behind Chris. Moving on to number 9, we're in the B position, 429 feet. This is also kind of a open fairway, except then when you get down towards the green, you have all these trees and all these line of trees again. So that drone shot is to kind of show you those trees, and there's the disc landing on the fairway. That's a pretty good drive by Dana. And here is Nick's drive, and that looks really good. Getting through all those trees. He's pretty up there, and there's the basket Sarah's going to show you. There we go. So he's got a putt, actually. And here's Chris's drive. A little turnover again, and it looks like it's going to fade in a little too soon and hits the tree. So he's got a little tough upshot from there. Here's Mike's drive, opting for the backhand, and he throws it kind of low, but it's up there. Looks like he should be able to get to the basket from there. So you can see where Chris landed. More trees. And oh no, he hits another tree. Yeah, it's just the story of the day. It's just trees and trees and trees. And you can see this little narrow window that Mike's throwing through right here, but that's a good looking drive. Oh, that looks like it's going past the basket. It is past the basket. But he should be able to get a putt from there. And here's Dana's approach. Just nicks the leaf, but he's parked. So he's good to go. And Nick's got this putt. He's going for it. Oh, just to the right. And here's Chris going for 3 and just the front of the basket. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Mike is going for 3 right here. Let's see what he's got here. And just squeeze it in. Another great par save. 2 holes in a row. Very nice. And Nick's going for par right here. I believe Nick's going for par. That looks good. Yeah, so throughout the day, it was a little humid. It wasn't too hot, but it was humid enough to make it count. I believe Chris is tapping in his bogey right here. Yeah, he is. And there's a lot of, not necessarily mosquitoes, but there's a lot of gnats around. So there are a lot of bugs flying everywhere. So now Mike is 2 strokes within Chris, and Dana is still 1 behind. So hole 9A is 290 feet, par 3. The road is OB to the left of this basket. You can see where the fairway is here, and the basket's tucked behind that big tree, and this is the approach shot. And you see all these little baby trees that they are trying to grow here. So the players are going to throw around this, either a sidearm or an anhyzer, around all those trees, and that was a great drive by Dana. This view is kind of show you where those baby trees are being planted, and then what the players have to throw around pretty much to see and kind of see an aerial view. Although Nick's drive looks like it's gone way past the basket here. And yeah, Sarah's going to show you where the basket is. There you go. So it's definitely, he outdrove that basket. So here is Mike's drive. You can see from his view what he sees, and then we're going to see from the drone what the path of the disc has to go through to get down to the basket, and that's a great looking drive for the skid right there. So great drive by Mike. And then here's Chris's drive. Now I'm not sure he's doing the sidearm here. It looks like he is. Yep, he decided to do sidearm. I think it's a little low, but it's getting down there. And oh, needs to stop. Ooh. He's still got a bit before he gets to that road, but still, that's pretty close there. So Nick's coming back for his 2 right here. And let's see what he does. Oof, hyzer. Almost there. And we're looking at Chris. This is for his 2. So this should be no problems here. We'll see. Oh no! Oh, I left his hand a little weird, a little wobbly. I'm sure he wants that putt back. And here's Mike's 2. Very nice. Nicely done by Mike. So 9A. Mike's got his bird. And I believe Dana is going to come in and try and putt for his 2 right here. And interesting thing, I think Mike and Dana are using the same putters. So there's his 2. And Nick is tapping in his par. And so is Chris tapping in his par. So now, Dana has the box. Dana is tied with Nick, and Mike is 1 stroke behind. So number 10 is 603 feet. It's a very open hole, but then you got this giant tree in the middle of the way, and it does come into play at some point. And I believe Dana's throwing a hyzer shot, I'm sorry, but it hits the tree and drops. So like I was saying, it does become a factor if you're trying to throw it straight down. And if you look in the middle of the fair screen here, that's a great looking shot by Mike. There's a lady with a pink shirt to the right of this disc right now, and that's kind of where the basket is where she's standing. So here's Nick's drive. And he looks like a little high, and it's going towards the same tree Dana just hit earlier. Oh, and he sure did. He did hit the tree, so they're both kind of in the same spot. It looks like a tricky spot, and he's not too happy about that. It's going to be a little tricky for that upshot behind that tree, because it's literally right behind that tree. We're looking at Chris's drive here. A little turnover, fade back, so that looks good. As long as it doesn't hit the tree, we're good to go. Alright, looks like he can get up and down from there. Here's Dana. You see the basket to the left of the screen, and it's next to the tree to the left of the screen. And Dana's gone a little wide, but that should skip in for a putt. So he should be okay. And you can see kind of the awkward stance that Nick's got because the disc is behind the tree here for this upshot. So let's see what he does here. Oh no, that looks like he released it a little early and it's going to catch one of these trees. Oh yes it does, and kicks all the way to the left. So he's got a bit more work from that approach shot. And here's Chris. He's kind of yanked it to the right, but it's coming back. So it's going to be a tough putt from there with that trees sitting on top. A little bit of a low ceiling putt. Here's Mike's. He opts for the spike sidearm around this big tree that Nick hit earlier, and that looks like it worked. Looks like he should be able to get his putt from there. And here's Nick. I believe this is for 3. This is for par. And he goes for it, but it becomes a layup. So he's fine. He should be okay from there. And here is Chris. He's on his knees for this putt. This is for 3. Oh, he just hits the top of the basket. What a great putt from the knee. I have a hard time doing strata putts, let alone putting from the knee. Here's Mike's putt here. This is for 3, I believe. What a great approach shot. And... Woo! Very nice. Mike just parred that. And Chris did as well. So this is for 3 from Dana. I think he's about 15 foot out. 15, 18. And let's see what he does. Oh no! To the right. Oh no. He's going to walk over and finish this off with a bogey. For some reason, by the time we got to this hole, the wind did pick up a little bit. And we're not entirely sure. But it felt good because the humidity did kick up by this time. But at the same time, it's just eating some of the discs. So hole number 11, we are in the 8th position at 360 feet. And like I said, it's par 3 for all these holes. And Mike is up. He throws it kind of early. It's going to hit this line of trees. So, same story. This basket is tucked away in between these lines. It's a big opening, a big green, but you still have to get through this line of trees first in order to get to it. So, it gets a little tricky. Especially if you're trying to throw a hyzer flip. A hyzer flip shot would probably be the best. Or this turnover and coming back, but this is fading out a little early, so it's going to get into this little nook right here. Oh yeah, there we go. That might be a hard upshot from there. He's not too sure about that shot. And here's Dana's drive. Yeah, he definitely needs a bug spray sponsor. He keeps swatting the nets. And here's Dana's drive. Hyzer flip shot. It's going to the right, and it needs to come back. And it looks like it's gonna go right past these bushes and in the back. I think he just threw it over the basket, but it's fine. He's not too sure about that either. But it's a good drive. It's definitely a good drive. And here's Nick's drive right here. I'm not sure what he's throwing here. Oh no, and it hits the bush to the right. I think it kicks out though. So I think he should be okay to get to the... Yeah, he did. So he should be able to get to his upshot from here. That's looking a little low, but it's fading into those line of trees. That's going to be a hard putt from there. Here's Mike's upshot. He's coming out of the trees here. Or shrubs, or whatever these things are called. That looks good. He should be able to get his putt from there. And this is Chris. I think he's trying to throw a roller with a putter on this here. To get around these bushes in front of him to get to the basket. To get to the green, that is. So, it'll be interesting here. This roller. Here we go. There we go. That looks like it's working. It needs to come out of those bushes. Oh yeah, and it did. What a wonderful, wonderful upshot. Great roller. All right, see where Nick has landed. It's kind of hard to do a putt from here, from the knee here. He's gonna try and sidearm. I don't know if he's trying to go for it or if he's just gonna lay up here. Looks like he's. I wasn't really sure about that, so it looks like it was just ended up being a layup. Here's Mike going for 3. After a great upshot outside out of the bushes. For 3, nice. Right in the middle of the chains. Great putt. And you see where Dana's standing. To the left of him is where his disc has gone into. So I think Nick's going to come up and tap in his bogey here. I believe that's for bogey. Let me make sure here. Yeah, it's for bogey. And Dana is going to come out. He's got a little red disc that's coming out of those bushes right now. I think he's trying to go for his birdie, actually. Oh, he just went to the right of that. So Mike has parred, Nick has bogeyed, and Chris has parred, and Dana's now tapping in his par. There we go. All right. So after 11, Dana is now ahead by 1 stroke, ahead of Nick, and Chris is still ahead of Mike. So hole number 12 is in the B position. We're looking at 564. It's all the way to the right, but again, this wind picked up by the time we hit this hole, and I'm not sure, but that was a great looking drive by Mike. So again, we get down to once you get down to the green, before you even get to the green, you have this line of trees that's kind of in the way, and then you have this open field for like about 400 feet that you have to deal with, and now the wind has picked up a little bit. And Chris throwing that turnover shot again, the S shot, and it kept going, but it's still in the fairway, and you can kind of see from the basket that the disc has gone to the left a little bit there. The angle from the basket, that is. But he still should be able to get up and down from there. So here's Dana's drive. I think he's throwing a destroy here. A little hyzer flip with the wind, and the wind is just riding this disc. I mean, the disc is just... That's a great looking drive. And she's going to show you real quick where that is relative to the basket. So you can see he's got a really good look at the basket from there. So he looks pretty content with that shot. And you can see the way, by the time Nick got up to the tee box, you can see the wind is just blowing his shirt a lot harder than the other 3. So this is going to be a really tough drive here. And he throws it. Oh no. See, the wind has turned that over, and I don't think it's coming back. Yep. That's going to be he's not too happy with that. Oh, man. That's going to be a tough upshot for Nick right there. All right, here's Chris's upshot. He's opting for the sidearm. And looks like it's up there, but he's still got a little bit of work to do from there for his par. And here's Nick's upshot. He's a little bit more to the right with in line of these bushes that's in front of him. So let's see what he does here. He throws it. Oh, it's that tree. See, these trees, they don't look like much, but they do come into play. And here's Mike's upshot. It's looking good. Looking good. It needs to come down. I'm not sure. He might still have work from there. Dana's great drive, and this is his approach. He's got this wide open view at it, and he pretty much parks it on the upshot. So this is for 3 from Chris. Oh, just short. And this is for 3 from Mike. Oh no. To the right. I'm not Mike doesn't look too happy with that. He's not entirely sure what just happened there. And I believe this is for 4 from Chris. Yes, that is 4. And Dana taps in his par. And I believe Mike and Chris both tap in their bogeys. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was hole number 12. So yeah, so now Dana is 2 strokes ahead of Nick. Hole number 13 is in the A position at 420 feet. And again, it's pretty wide open, except when you get to the green, there is lines of trees and shrubs covering around it. So if you get in those shrubs, it's still kind of a pain to get out. So this shot right here looks like a turnover shot, but it's not coming back out soon enough, and he's hit those shrubs right there. That's going to be hard to putt from there. Here's Mike's drive. I believe the road is OB, but it doesn't really come into play because it's really far off from where the basket is. And here's Mike's drive. Let's see where it lands. That looks good. It looks like it's going to land right in the fairway. Wonderful. And Chris's shot right over the shoulders here. And he does this turnover shot. And that's actually looking good as long as it keeps going. Right in the fairway. He should be able to get up and down from there. So he's good to go. And we're looking at Nick right now. Oh, he kind of threw it high. I don't know if he meant to do that, but that's going all the way to the right, and it might not come back out. Oh, and it just drops right on the edge of the shrubs, and Nick's not too happy about that either. All right, and here's Chris's upshot. Ew! It actually hit the front of the rim, and that was his putter that he threw that upshot with. Here's Mike's. He looks like he's going for it. You see those winds swirling in that green right there. Yep, and Mike went for it, and that was a good bid. So here's Nick. He has to throw around this line of trees, so it's kind of from where he's standing is a dogleg right, and he's trying to get his putter to go around all of these bushes without going back in it. So, and he didn't turn over enough, and I think it went actually to the left of where this camera angle is. So here's Dana with a similar shot, except he's closer. So there he goes and tries, but then hits that tree. So yeah, these trees and branches are always in the way throughout the day. So you can see where Nick went. He's almost close to the road with that upshot. So now he's coming back, and he hits the tree again. So that was actually for 3. This is now for 4. Bang. He seems to have a very calm putt. He just kind of walks up there and just bangs it. But that was for bogey. Didn't look too happy about that. So here's Dana. Dana, this is for par. No problems. Although that was to the right, that was close to dropping out. So now Dana's 3 strokes ahead, and Chris is now 1 stroke ahead. And the other 2, Mike and Chris, parred hole number 13. Number 14 is in the far position. In the A position to the right. Now this fairway, you have to throw a turnover shot, except I think Dana's turnover has turned into a roller, and it's still rolling.
Oh, that's
And it's
cool.
going to roll right over the road. That is OB, and hopefully Sarah's going to show us where that basket is relative to that, where that disc has rolled into. So there's the basket right there, and that disc is gone. It's definitely not coming back. So here's Mike's shot, sidearm. Those pine trees is heading right straight at it. Hopefully it'll come out, and it does come out right in the fairway, so that he should be able to get up and down from there. But yeah, you have to pretty much throw around these pine trees, kind of a turnover shot, and then an S to come back to the fairway. So it's kind of like Chris's shot right here. So, but he's kind of turned over too much, and it's a little low, but he's still in the fairway, so he's good to go. He's not in those line of trees right there, and Sarah's going to show you where the basket is relative to the disc. So here is Nick's shot. Or Nick's drive, I should say. And here we go. He's kind of turned over a little bit, but I think he should be okay. As long as he passes those line of trees, he should be in the fairway. So Chris's upshot right here. And he's got those trees to play with, and he just went to the right of that, towards the trees. And here is Mike's shot, and he just kisses the tree and kicks towards the basket. What a great upshot. And Dana's going for 3 right here, actually. He did a go OB, so this is for actually 3. He's going to run at it. Oh, so close. So close. Alright, so here's Nick. He went a little to the right of everything, but he's out in the open, so he's going to have a run at it. It's parked. Great up shot. And here's Chris. That was for 3 for Chris. And Nick's going to tap in his 3. And Mike's going to tap in his 3. And Dana's going to tap in his 4, circle 4. He's also tapping in a provisional that he actually threw that we didn't record. But it turns out the provisional didn't come into play. It actually was OB. So Dana now is 2 strokes ahead of Nick, and Chris is still 1 stroke ahead of Mike. Hole number 15 is in the A position. It's 288 feet. Number 15 is... It's pretty short hole, except, again, this basket is tucked around behind all those trees. It's actually to the left of where Mike's disc landed. So hopefully Sarah will show us kind of where the basket is. There it is. And you kind of have to throw a hyzer shot to get around these trees. You can try an ante shot or a sidearm, but the trees on the left-hand side of the fairway is a little more tricky. And this is the shot to go, but I think Chris has just turned that over a little bit too much, and she's going to show you where the basket is. So he's a little far out. He still has a putt, but it's going to be a lot of work. And here's Nick's shot. Oh, I think he just released a little early hyzer, and oh, it hits a tree. So that might be tricky. He's not too happy about that shot. And here's Dana. I think this is an Innova disc. I don't know what disc it is, though. And that looks really good. That looks like, as long as he gets through it, yep, that's the line we want, is a hyzer around all that, and that should be parked. It sure is. He should be it should be an easy putt for him, for Dana. He looks pretty content with that. And here we look at Nick's upshot. And you can see the basket kind of right there where the disc has just gone to the left of it. Little hyzer to the left. And here's Mike for his high lob kite type putt. Pretty close, but he's still got an easy par from there. And here's Chris all the way to the right of the basket. I believe he's... I want to say he's pin high, but he might be a little off a little bit, but he's just to the right, too far. So here's Dana's drive. He's going for 2 right here. Let me see. Oh, he thought he had it. He thought he had it. Oh my goodness. That was quite close. Just a little bit to the left, it would have gone in. Oh, Nick almost missed that putt. You can tell he was not happy with that. Luckily it went in. So that was for par. Mike's tapping in for par. And Chris is tapping in for par. And Dana's... Oh! I don't think they meant to do that, to put those just in at the same time. But they're all par. So star par frame for everybody. Still the same score. Chris is still 2 strokes ahead. Hole number 16 is 297 feet. This one has a little bit of... I I can't remember this hole. Again, more bugs that Mike's fighting with here. Number 16. Pretty straightforward hole, except I believe this is the one where it's tucked away in these. Yes, it is. So it's tucked away in these trees, and Mike just threw a really nice sidearm. That is parked. That is parked by the basket. There's a little bit of trees in the play, but it's surrounded by, the green is surrounded by all these big trees, and look at Chris here, and it's going to hit some trees. So if you throw it high, you're going to hit something, even if it's far down the fairway. But the basket is tucked away, surrounded by really thick shrub and trees. And here's Nick's drive. That's looking good, except it looks like it's going to keep gliding. And it did. It actually just went through all that bush that Mike hit earlier and went past the basket. Hopefully she'll show us where the basket is compared to that disc. There it is. Yeah, so it flew right by the basket. And here's Dana's drive. And he's trying this for the turnover, except if it hits something, it did. Hits a tree and it faded out to the left of everything. So that's going to be a tough upshot for him. Here's Chris' upshot, that sidearm putter again. And it just went to the left. So the green isn't that small, but it's not that big either if once you take the lines of trees in the way. And Dana somehow sneaks it through all those trees and hits the top of the basket. What a great upshot. A great bid, actually. And here's Nick. Oh, he just hyzered it. Oh, he's not too happy about that. He normally makes those. Just walks up and just putts and puts it in. So that black disc is actually Chris's putt. We just kind of missed it. But so that's Chris for par. And then here's Nick coming back for par. Yep, he's got the par. And Mike is coming up. And I think Mike is putting for 2 right here. Yes, he is. So this is for 2. Great shot. Great hole for Mike. Great drive. And nice finish with the 2. Dana's tapping in his par. Alright. Looks pretty happy about that. So that's hole number 16. Mike and Chris are now tied with that. Number 17. This one has a slight elevation going down. And then it goes back up again to dip. But Mike's trying for the sidearm and actually went to the right. He still has a putt from there, so the hole is not that far. But you can see I'm kind of standing on a slant a little bit to looking up at them a little bit. And then what happens is it dips down from the tee box and then it goes back up again. So here's Chris's drive. He's turned it over. Hopefully it doesn't hit anything. And it's coming in. That looks pretty good. He's got a putt, so we're good. Yeah, again, these trees again. There's just trees everywhere, this whole entire course. No roots like they love, but there's just trees and branches. And Nick just hits a tree. Oh no. He still should be able to get up and down from there, but it's kind of frustrating when you can't have a putt from your drive. So here's Dana's drive. He throws Vibram, so all his discs are pretty colorful. And that looks like a great drive. Oh my goodness. It's getting down there. And there's the disc landed right there. Parked. About probably a 15-footer. If not a 15, 18-footer. And this is Nick's upshot. And he's kind of going uphill just a little bit. So, but he's up there now. And Mike's going for 2. His little lob here. He's going to lob it in. Oh, just to the right a bit, we would have had a chance. And here's Chris. I believe he's pinned high. And, oh no, the top of the basket. He keeps hitting either the front of the basket or the top of it. And Dana's going for 2. So this is a great drive by Dana. Right in the middle. Right smack in the middle of the chains. Great hole by Dana. And Mike taps in his par, and I believe Nick's going to tap in his par as well. So yeah, Dana's now takes a 3-stroke lead, and Mike and Chris are tied. Hole number 18, par 3, 369 feet. To the left, I'm sorry, yes, to the left, but there's this little gap right here between these two big trees that you're going to see Dana hit right here. So yeah, but if you throw it too low, because again there's that elevation, because now you're also dipping and you're going back up again with a low ceiling as well with all these branches. So both Mike and Dana have hit that gap, and you see where those little flags to the left, that's where the basket is. It's right over that way. But you have to hit this gap here to get over there. And here's Chris's drive. That's looking good. All those shots should give you an up and down from there. But if you hit like a little bit outside of that gap, then you would have a chance to get the disc all the way up to the basket, as long as you throw a nice hyzer that will keep gliding towards the basket. And that's what Nick has done. He's thrown it outside of that gap, and that is going. And that looks parked. Let's see if Sarah will show us where the basket is. Oh yeah, that's definitely parked. Nice job. Very, very nice drive. So here's Chris's upshot right here. And it's actually tucked behind those trees that Chris is throwing towards. To the left of that, where the disc is landed. Here's Dana going towards the basket. And it looks like he's good to go. And here comes Mike. And you can see the basket to the right of your screen here. And where the disc is landed, it's right in front of the basket. Wonderful. And this is Nick's drive. He's going for 2 on this. Very nice. Very nice hole for Nick. He looks relieved that he hasn't birdied in a while, I think. So that was number 18. So everyone else is going to tap in their pars. And we'll be moving on to number 1 here. We got 2 more holes left. So Nick is now 2 strokes behind Dana, and Mike and Chris are still tied. Hole number 1 is in the 8th position at 306 feet. It's pretty much a straight shot down, but if you go to the left to the right, there's going to be a bunch of trees going to kick it down, and then you're just going to have more work to do. So like here, Nick has gone to the right, so there's trees over here, but I think he actually went past that basket. And here's Dana's drive. I think he released it a little early, so it's going to the left, and it's still there. Yep, he's got a little bit of work to do from there. And here's Mike's drive. And he's gone straight down the middle, except there's elevation by the basket, so it's a little low, but he's got a putt, so that should be okay. And Chris's drive, oh, early tree. He wanted us to edit that out, but we're not going to do that. So Chris, this is his approach, actually, his upshot, his first upshot. So let's see what he does from here. And it throws it to the right. Looks like he still has a little bit of work to putt from there. So this is his second upshot. Chris's second upshot here. He's opting for the sidearm with the putter again. And it looks good. It's parked. Looks parked. So he's good to go there. And here's Dana. He's gonna go for it. He's pretty far out, but he's gonna go for it. That's looking good. Oh, but he's parked now, so good layup. And here's Nick. I believe Nick is coming back. He's putting. He's going for 2, but he's putting back towards the basket. So yes, he is. So there we go. And here's Mike for 2. Great drive. He's got a little bit of elevation though, so let's see what he does here. Oh, he just shorted. Dana for 3. That looks good. And then I believe Nick is going to tap in his par right here before the other 2 gentlemen come in and tap in their par. So Mike taps in his par and Chris taps in his par as well. So that was number 1. Everybody, I'm sorry, Chris tapped in his bogey. So yeah, he's not too happy about that. So now he is 1 stroke behind Mike. Hole number 2 is in the A position at 360 feet. I'm sorry, in the B position at 402 feet. I'm sorry about that. But you can see the basket to the right in tiny little part of the screen here as Nick throws it a little too early and it kicks tree and it kicks to the right. So he's got a little bit of work from there. Now these trees on the right hand side, once you get through these trees, there's also a line of more shrubs and trees. And if you get your disc in there, it's really hard to get out because when you do get out, you have all these trees in front of the basket as well. So here's Dana's drive. It's looking good. It needs to fade right now, and it's not. So it's going to keep going and hits a tree and a branch. So that's going to be tough for him as well. Here's Mike's drive. It's a little high. It might catch one of these branches, and it kept going, and it actually kicked all the way to the right after hitting that tree. So let's look at Chris's drive. He's turned it over. He likes to turn over these discs, but it's coming back really nicely, and it's going to land right in the fairway. That's where you want to be, where Chris's disc is landed. So here's Nick's upshot right here. Let's see what he does here. I think he's got all these trees to play with in the way. And oh, it just caught that little branch and it rolls into the shrubs. So yeah, there's no gimmick here. So here's Mike's second shot, and he catches one of those branches on those line of trees again. So that was for 2, and now here's Dana, and he looks like he's going for it. Last hole, why not? And oh, very close. Good bid. Great bid, actually. And here's Mike's third shot to get out of these shrubs here. So there's his third shot. Good looking upshot right there. He should be able to get his boat out of that. And here's Chris. Monster drive. And oh my goodness. That's like 5 times today he's done that. Oh my goodness. And we're looking at Nick right here. I believe this is for 3. And he bangs it. Oh my goodness. He just steps up and he just bangs it. And Mike just shorted that. Oh no. So that is going to be for double bogey for Mike. Oh my goodness. And I believe Dana is tapping in his par here. Yes, he is. Great putt. Alright. And Chris is going to tap in his par, and that will do it, folks. There it is. Everybody's shaking hands. What a great round. I enjoyed filming this a lot. I enjoyed filming these gentlemen. So Chris ends up being 1 stroke ahead of Mike after that double bogey. So Dana took place out of the whole day. Nick tied for 2nd. Chris took 5th, and Mike took 6th. So congrats to Dana, and thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe and comment and give me feedback. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Also, I have other videos up as well, so if you want to check those out and give me as much feedback as you can. Thanks for watching. You have a good day.